Hello everyone and namaste. It's great to be here. Today we are going to speak about the Yama. So Yama means control, but let's give it another translation. Let's understand the first limb of yoga as our relationship with the world, our ethics, the way we conduct ourselves, the way we carry ourselves in the world. This is really what Yama is all about. And within Yama, we have 5 different recommendations of how to handle the world and how to operate. And think about it, if we'll have these instructions, we will be so liberated because we are all perplexed in this world. And it's like, oh, what is the right way to do things? And here we have a beautiful, beautiful recommendation of how to carry ourselves without harming ourselves and actually elevating ourselves and others. This is a great way to bring ourselves into a higher state of being. And as we said before, this is the base of the pyramid. It's like everything will be built on this base. It's the foundation of the foundation. Foundations are many times boring. We might think like a beautiful tower have so many floors, and we not think about the plumbing and all the base and electricity and the foundation and the digging that was there before to enable this beautiful tower to be existing. We have to have the foundation though. Even though we don't see them, they are the most important ones. And this is our base to continue on our spiritual path. So Yama is so important. We can even say it in so many traditions that the way that we act, the way that we carry ourselves is much more important than our spirituality. And I would claim that this is the same. The way that we carry ourselves is spirituality. We are not spiritual when we sit on a cushion of meditation. We are spiritual when we are kind, when we are loving, when we are doing the right thing. A spiritual person is a person that does spiritual actions. And what is spiritual actions? Spiritual action is when we are actually doing something that have mindfulness and loving kindness. So the yamas are not actually rules. Don't think about the yamas as rules. It's more like laws of nature. It's not, if you will do that, you will be punished by entity in the sky. It's, if you will do something that is against the laws of nature, you will suffer. In the same way that we will put our hand into the fire and we will burn, in the same way, if we'll do something that are against the law of nature, we will suffer. And so this is a great understanding of how the universe works and how we work within it. And if we go against it, then we are actually missing out. The yamas are divided into 5 recommendations. The first one is non-violence, and this is the most important one where the whole philosophy of yoga lies on. Because non-violence and non-harming is such an important principle where we are not creating damage and violating nature. Think about how much of this exists today. We are definitely in a degenerate time. There are so many wars and damage, and this creates so much tension, so much of separation, so much of lack of union. Yoga is union, and we want to bring things together. But when we come from a mindset of separation, a mindset of this is me and this is the other person, and if I'll hurt the other person, nothing will happen to me. If I come from this mind of separation, I'm actually creating so much suffering to myself without even knowing that. I'm acting in an ignorant way. So non-violence comes from this point of view of embracing reality and seeing unity. Seeing that if I'm going to hurt you, you will be hurt and I will be hurt as a consequences of that, because you are not different than me and you are part of me. There is a beautiful analogy to explain that, which is like our whole body. Our whole body is an organism. Each and every part is related to the other. If the liver will be damaged, for sure it will affect the kidneys, it will affect the brain, it will affect the whole blood circulation and so on. So if we'll hurt one part, we'll hurt the whole organism. And it's exactly the same way in reality. Humanity is one organism. All sentient beings are one organism. The universe is an organism. And when we see ourselves as separated, it is as if our finger will see itself separated from the whole body and claim for identity. So when we are coming from a space of union, we become gentle and we become loving and we become compassionate and we see that everything is connected and I'm doing something good in this universe, I'm actually doing something good to myself. And when I'm doing something harmful to someone else, I'm actually harming myself. This is a really important principle which we cannot proceed in yoga without. Think about it. Anyone can do asana, anyone can meditate, but people who really want to get to the highest level of spirituality cannot progress without this principle. The second yama is truth. And truth is being truthful to one another, and living in a truthful way, being attached to the truth, being loyal to the truth. This is really important. When we live in the truth, we understand that we are not separated. When we live in the truth, it sets us free, as someone said before. So when we are truthful, it brings us into a space, a field, where everything that we have in our space is in harmony. And this is really important to cultivate into our lives. When we speak, we want to speak the truth. We don't want to lie to ourselves and nor to lie to others. We want to stay truthful. When we lie either to ourselves or to others, we are actually betraying ourselves. We are taking ourselves away from the true path of who we are, and we are bringing ourselves into denial. Many times it's not even that we mean to lie, it's just we are denying the truth and we are not accepting the reality as it is. The reality as it is can be very painful, but when we accept it, it can be so beautiful. When we deny it and we suppress it, we suffer so much more. I want to say one more word about speech, because it's not only to say the truth. The Buddha was saying, check every time that you say anything, check if it's true, check if it's necessary to say what you are going to say. Maybe this thing that you are going to say is true, but it's going to be harming to another person. It's going to actually create more damage than not saying it at all. So maybe avoiding saying that if it's not necessary. And the third thing is it the right time to say it? Maybe it's a true thing that you're going to say. Maybe it's necessary. Maybe it will be really helpful, but it's not the right time to say it. So save it for the right time and say it then. So check 3 things before you say something. Is it true? Is it necessary? Is it the right time to say it? The third yama is non-stealing. And this is quite obvious and self-explanatory. In these days, we have so much of content on internet, and we can right away take it without even asking, not respecting copywriting. This can be a form of stealing, taking something that is not ours. And it can also happen within us, within our body, within our mind, and in the close circles that we have. The Yoga Sutra is trying to bring us into a state where we are looking at the subtlety of things, not only looking when we are actually stealing something from a shop or something like that. Also seeing when I take some words of someone else and use them without giving them credits. Or even in our practice, when we do physical activity and we are overstretching and we are stealing energy from ourselves, doing things out of balance. The fourth yama is taking control over our sexuality. And we'll explain much more about it in other videos. But just to say now, a couple of sentences about that. Sexuality is such an important force. It's a very strong force. And if we use it incorrectly, we can actually harm ourselves and others in a huge way. So taking care of this potential that can be enormous to elevate ourselves and to control it in a way that can actually benefit us and others. The fifth yama is non-possessiveness. And this is one of my favorite understanding of spirituality. Understanding that our possessions is not really who we are. And the way that we identify ourselves in the world is really important. We can also go back to the video of Yoga Chitta Vritti Nirodha, and we will understand how important it is to not identify ourselves with just one thought, with just one action, with the place that we are and the possessions that we have. We don't have to have so much. We can have very little and be so happy. I know someone who left his country and left a lot of money and go to travel, and he was so much more happy with $2 in his pocket than when he was in his country having all the possessions. We need to understand that possession never makes us happy. It's really proven in psychological research that happiness is not affected by our possession, by the amount of money that we have in our bank. People who won the lottery even didn't actually showed any increase in happiness on the long term. The happiness is something that is cultivated from inside and is not related to how much we have and not related to external circumstances. So we have 5 different yamas: non-violence, truth, non-stealing, controlling over our sexuality, and non-possessiveness. These are tools to cultivate on a daily basis. This is spirituality in the daily life. I hope you enjoy doing that and feel the vibration of following the path into liberation. Namaste, everyone. Thank you.